Hello you guys, and welcome back to another video. So in this video I'll be cooking some T-bone steaks on a grill. Here you see me beating my steak. I've already washed them, patted them dry. So I'm gonna just beat them to kind of make them a little more tender. And I'm gonna do that to both sides of the steak. And again, this helps make it a little tender. So here you see me cutting off some of the extra fat around the edges. I'm not gonna cut it all off, but some of it. So I'm just carefully cutting some of the fat around the edges with my knife. And I'm gonna do that to all 3 T-bone steaks. But you will see me leave some of the fat ends on it. It's usually pretty easy to cut off. So I'm just cutting. And like I said, I'm gonna do that to all 3 steaks. There you see what I've cut off of the first one. A lot of fat on there, right? I know some people like to eat the fat around the ends. You know, once it's cooked, some people like that. I don't, but some people do. So here I'm just beating some more. And I'm gonna do the same thing to the next 2. I'm beating. And again, I'm gonna cut some of that fat off of the edge. You wanna be careful when you're doing this so that you do not cut yourself. It's pretty easy to do though. Sometimes I'm able to just pull it off without even using a knife. So just cutting some of that extra fat off, it's a lot. As you can see, I just pulled that little piece off there. And then here's our last one. I'm gonna beat that one just a little bit more on both sides. And then I'm gonna cut some of the fat off of that one, but I did leave some on there at the bottom, and you'll see coming up shortly. Flip it over, do the same thing to the other side. And then here you're gonna see me cut some of the fat off, but like I said, I left some of it on at the bottom. So I'm just cutting. I had to flip it around because it was at an awkward angle and I did not want to cut myself. Alright, so I've pretty much taken off everything I want to take off. I'm going to leave that piece there at the bottom. I could have cut that off, but I'm just going to leave that there. Okay, so here I am done beating my steaks. I'm done cutting off the extra fat that I'm gonna cut off. So right now I'm over at the sink just rinsing off my utensils, which I'm done using, but I rinse them off before I put them in the dishwater. Alright, so here I'm taking my steaks. I'm gonna take them back over to the sink and rinse them off. So So that's what I'm currently doing, just rinsing out the steaks. I'm gonna move this parchment paper. I'm gonna rinse off my pan. I'm gonna clean my pan off. Now I have my pan nice and clean. I'm gonna put another piece of parchment paper on it. You don't have to do this, I just do it. I don't even always do it, just sometimes. So I'm just layering that pan with some parchment paper, and then I'm going to season my steaks. Here's my steaks, all rinsed off and clean. I'm gonna lay them on that parchment paper. Trying to make sure that they don't overlap, but it do kind of overlap right here on this pan. The last steak that I put on there kind of overlaps, but it's okay. So I do try to put things in the sink and clean up as I go when I am cooking. So here I'm getting ready to season my steaks. I am pulling out my seasonings that I'm gonna use. So I'm gonna season one side, then I'll flip over and season the other side. So here's my Lowry seasoning salt. I'm gonna put some of that, sprinkle some of that on my steaks. And as stated, I'm gonna do one side, then the other side. Here I'm gonna use some complete, and I need to get more because that is almost out. Next, I'm gonna use some Saison tropical seasoning and put that on there. And here I have peppercorns. I'm gonna peppercorns, cracked pepper. I'm gonna put some of that on there. I like pepper, so you might see me putting a generous amount. It looked like I'm putting a generous amount, but I'm really not. I'm just putting some pepper on there. Then I had some chives in my fridge, so I'm gonna sprinkle some of those on both sides. These steaks will be going on the grill. I did miss the clip of them on the grill, so I do apologize. I don't have the footage of them on the grill, but I did cook them on a grill, and I did about maybe 7 minutes on each side. I grilled them about 7 minutes on each side on the grill, charcoal grill. So here I'm flipping my steaks over, and I'm gonna season the other side just as I did the first side. I'm gonna speed this up because I'm just doing the same thing I did to the first side. I've added the same seasonings. Here I'm gonna sprinkle a little bit of Worcester sauce on both sides of my steaks. It's taking me a minute because that was a brand new bottle of Worcester sauce, so I had to get the plastic seal off. So I just did one side. I'm gonna flip those over and do the same thing to the other side. Look at those steaks. They is good and seasoned. Alright, so I'm just drizzling just a little bit of Worcester sauce on the other side of those steaks. Then I just cover them in foil and I let them sit for about 10 minutes. Normally I will let them sit longer, but this was quick. So here I have some Old Smoky Moonshine cherry. So I was eating some of those cherries while I was getting ready to prepare the meal. So I'm like, let me just try some of this moonshine, this cherry juice on top of these steaks. So here you see me drizzling some of that moonshine cherry juice, or cherry moonshine. Actually, it's cherry moonshine. You see me sprinkling some of that on top of the steaks. No worries, these steaks are for adults. They are not for children. So I'm gonna take this little brush here and just kind of spread the moonshine around. I didn't use too much. So I'm just spreading that around and patting it in there. Right there, you see me grab a little piece of the cherry that dropped on there. I didn't want the cherries on there. I just wanted the juice, and a little piece of a cherry dropped on there, so I just picked it off. So pretty much done seasoning here. So I'm just wiping off the counter right there. I'm gonna wrap this up back in foil or cover it back up with foil until I'm ready to put it on the grill. And as stated, I did like 7 minutes. I grilled it like 7 minutes on each side, directly on top of the grill. So I took them out of the pan, put them on a grill, grilled one side for 7 minutes, flipped it over, grilled the other side for about 7 minutes. And once they were done, this is the outcome. Don't them steaks look good? Nice and juicy, very flavorful. They look really, really good, and they taste really, really good. Again, I'm sorry I did not get a clip while they was on the grill. Hopefully you all like this video. Please like, comment, share, and subscribe.